Welcome to the Oakwood News Network.
Hello and welcome to our structured sales meeting. I'm Mike Monahan. Today our guest is Mr. Ron Waters. He's our sales pro for May, and he's from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Ron was chosen because he has not only produced 4 great new general managers for us, but all 4 of those are up and producing at the $100,000 per month GP level already. Let me start by telling you some highlights of Ron's background. He's been in the mobile home business since 1981. In fact, in 1 month, March of 1986, he delivered and funded 55 homes. Add to that, he did all of that in 1 month from an office building in Arlington, Texas, with the closest model over 2 miles away. That's right, he sold 55 homes off of pictures and brochures and only 2 model homes. His sales center finished number 3 in the entire Oakwood organization this past year, fiscal 1997. Ron, welcome to ONN and congratulations on being our sales pro for the month of May.
Thank you, Mike.
You know, Ron, all of our listeners are always saying, give us a silver bullet, give us one reason for success. What's Ron's reasons for successes?
I would have, if I was going to sum it up with 2 things, I'd tell you enthusiasm and urgency.
Enthusiasm and urgency. Expound on those a little bit for me, if you would.
Well, number 1 is you got to get excited. You got to get excited about what you're doing. You got to get excited about Oakwood. You got to get excited, especially when you're in front of that consumer. You've got to be able to take them to a feeling that they haven't had in a long time. And if you get excited about your product, that's where they're going to go. They're going to get excited. Before you know it, they're going to be giving you their money.
I'm already excited. Now tell me a little bit about urgency, Ron.
Well, number 1 is you got to give the customer a reason to buy today. Not to go home and think about it, not to go home and talk to their mom about it or go home and pray about it. They have to make a decision now. And if there's no, you got to make them pay a price if they go home and think about it. And we are great at giving them a reason to make a decision now.
Ron, I also understand you have a secret weapon, a 5-step process that you utilize there at your sales center that allows you to be the winner that you are month in and month out, year in and year out. In fact, Ron's going to share that 5-step process with us when we come right back.
We're always looking for an opportunity for providing improvement, and your suggestions are appreciated. When you see an opportunity, fax it to extension 2504 or call the hotline at extension 2613.
I've come here to Greensboro to talk to you about one thing today, and that's winning. And I wanted to talk to you about this because I think it's important to your careers, important to your futures. And I want to talk to you about the greatest opportunity in the world today, and that's Oakwood Homes. Now, I want to tell you something. As great as this opportunity is, it's important that you're ready for the opportunity, because the greatest opportunity in the world, if you're not ready, is nothing. 40% of nothing is nothing. A manager in this company, that's what he makes, 40% of the net profit. In other words, if you want to help your family, if you want to make a lot of money, you've got to know what you're doing. And that's part of training. Now, basically, the reason I've come here today is I've come here to talk to you about 5 plays. I can't teach you how to sell in 15 minutes. I can't teach you how to win in 15 minutes, but what I can do is I can give you 5 plays. And basically, I want to talk to you about winning. The most important thing that I can tell you right now is you got to get excited. You got to get more excited than you've ever been in your life. I can tell you there's nothing more important than this. When you go out on that sales center with a customer, you better get excited. You better get excited about your product. You better get excited about what you have to offer. Now, Oakwood, it's a great opportunity, but if you can't get excited, you cannot win. And that's what I want to do for you, is help you win today. Now, there's 5 things that I want to talk about. The first thing is recruiting. Okay, we've talked a lot about recruiting. These programs we've had over and over and over again, they're talking about recruiting. Now I want to talk to you about developing people. Your job in life is to develop 10 key people. Now the definition, I want to tell you what a key person is. That's someone who likes you, someone who believes in you, someone who trusts you, someone that'll follow you, someone who's coachable, and they're honest. Which I guarantee you, they're not working for our competitor today. So that is your job in life. Now I'm going to tell you something. Realize this, Jesus Christ developed 12. And I want you to look at what Christianity's done. We're talking about from 12 disciples, Christianity is spread throughout this world. And I can tell you right now that if you will do what I'm talking about, if you'll develop those 10 key people, then you can change the world. You're going to change your life. Now, you know, this is important, and I can guarantee you that if you'll do this, you're going to win. Now, the second thing I want to talk to you, they got 5 things. I want to talk to you about advertising. Your job in advertising is, number one, the manager's job is to make the telephone ring off the wall. Now, I'm not talking about 4 or 5 phone calls a day. I'm talking about 30, 40, 50, 60 phone calls a day. That's your job, is to make that telephone ring. Now, let me tell you this. What happens is, if you're not making that phone ring, that phone should ring so much that your salesman at the end of the day cannot stand it. They want the phone to stop ringing. Please do anything. Make that phone stop ringing. Well, I can tell you right now that you've got to make the telephone ring. Now, I'm in Oklahoma City, Sales Center 166. If any of you don't know what ad to run, call me, and I'll give you some ideas. Number one, remember that. You've got to make those telephones ring off the wall. The third thing I'm going to talk to you about is how to answer the telephone. I'm going to talk to you about working the telephones the way that we work the telephones. Now, in the phone system, every customer that calls your sales center is calling to do one thing. They want to know if you have what they're looking for. They want to know if you have the product, if you have the payment, if you have all the things that they're looking for. That's what they want to know. So anyway, what you've got to do is develop a simple system to where you can get each and every customer to that sales center. Okay, so let's talk about that. Number one is that customer is going to call and you're going to answer the phone, Oakwood Homes. All right, Oakwood Homes, this is Ron. That's how I would answer my telephone. Oakwood Homes, this is Ron. Now, number one is, I want to know, first of all, folks, I got 5 questions I want to know. Who am I speaking with? Mr. Smith, my name is Ron Waters. Let me ask you a couple questions. I'm going to take control of the conversation immediately. The first question is, where do you want to live? Where would you and your family like to live? The second question is, what kind of payment are you looking for? Okay, and it doesn't matter what they tell me. When they say, folks, we want to live on the moon, that's perfect. We're going to get you a house on the moon. If you want a payment of $200 a month, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get you that payment. What kind of down payment do you have to work with? If they tell me $200, that's perfect. Bring your money with you. We're going to get you in a home today. That's what it is, folks. Every customer that calls on that telephone needs to be to your sales center, and they need to be there right now. Not tomorrow, not next week. Here's what I'm going to tell them on the phone. I'm going to say, folks, let me tell you what you need to do. You need to get the keys to your car, you need to stick them in your ignition, and you need to get down here right now. And that $200 you told me to have for your initial down payment, bring it with you. Come now. Now, I can tell you this. If you'll work the telephones, number one, you got to get excited. In other words, when they call in, if you're not excited, if you're not enthusiastic over the telephone, nobody wants to talk to a disillusioned, frustrated, dadgum crybaby. You've got to get excited. You've got to get enthusiastic, and you've got to get them down to your sales center now. The next thing I want to talk about is Disneyland. When you get them to the sales center, what do you do with them? Now, in my particular sales center, we have 14 salespeople. And as far as I know, it's one of the largest sales staffs in the nation. And basically, right now we have 5 greenies. And what I found is you have to have a way to teach that greenie how to get those customers in on the telephone and how in 15 days to be taking deposits on everybody they talk to. Now realize this, I'm talking about selling houses, and they need to take a deposit every time they talk to the customer.